Something's brewing at Hollis Hall that could flip the script for this entire team. While a key player returns just in time for the biggest game of the year, our GM is making power moves behind the scenes that could land us some serious draft ammo. And hold up, there's a challenge on the table that could put free gear on the backs of every Chicago. And 3 stories that won't just shape this Saturday against Green Bay. They're gonna shape the future of this franchise. Stick around till the end, because what's coming is straight up explosive. If you love the Bears, smash that like button and hit subscribe, because this is just getting started. I can't believe what Ryan Poles is pulling off right now. While everyone's locked in on Saturday's game, while the whole city's thinking about how we're gonna crush the Packers, our GM is out here playing 4-dimensional chess, and let me tell you, what's happening behind the curtain is straight up genius. According to Dianna Russini from The Athletic, one of the most plugged in reporters in the entire NFL, Poles has been helping Matt Ryan through the hiring process in Atlanta. Yeah, that Matt Ryan, the former QB who spent 14 seasons with the Falcons, won MVP in 2016, and took them to Super Bowl 51. That Matt Ryan is about to become the Falcons' president of football operations. But here's what no one is talking about, what most media outlets are totally missing. Poles and Ryan were teammates at Boston College from 2003 to 2007. They're not just acquaintances. They're not just professional contacts. They're battle brothers. They shared a locker room. They bled together on that Boston College field. So let me ask you this. Do you really think Poles is helping Ryan out of nostalgia? You think he's spending his time, energy, and political capital in Atlanta just because they were teammates 20 years ago? You're out of your mind if you believe that. There's something way bigger going on here. Ian Cunningham, our assistant GM, the same guy who's been working side by side with Poles since day one in Chicago, as a top candidate for the GM job in Atlanta. And here's what's got me fired up. Multiple league reports say that if another team hires Cunningham as GM, the Bears get TWO third-round compensatory picks. Let me say that again so it sinks in. 2 third-rounders for free, no trade, no giving up any picks, no sacrificing current assets. 2 third-round picks falling right into our lap. Do you understand what that means in this league? In an NFL where teams sell their soul for draft capital, where franchises mortgage their future for a single first-rounder, where GMs lose their jobs over bad trades, Poles is setting us up to get extra ammo without lifting a finger. This is straight up brilliance. This is what separates good GMs from the great ones. Poles isn't just building for now. He's not just thinking about Saturday's game. He's building a dynasty. He's thinking 3, 4, 5 years ahead. But wait, there's more. Ryan Pace, yeah, that Ryan Pace. The one who brought us Mitch Trubisky in 2017. Who traded up with San Francisco to take Trubisky over Mahomes and Watson. The same guy who traded up 9 spots with the Giants in 2021 to draft Justin Fields. That Ryan Pace is now the Falcons' VP of Player Personnel and Football Ops. And reports say Pace is also in the mix for the Falcons' GM job. He's in the room. He knows the organization inside and out from his time there. Now let me paint the full picture for you. If Cunningham lands the GM job in Atlanta, with Matt Ryan as president of football ops and Ryan Pace potentially involved in a senior role, what do we have? We've got Ryan Poles with a direct ally in another NFC organization. Someone who knows our build philosophy. Someone who understands how we evaluate talent. Someone who knows exactly what kind of players we target. Someone Poles can do business with during the draft without the usual tension that comes with dealing with unfamiliar front offices. Let me ask you, how many GMs in this league have that kind of network? How many have a former teammate running football ops in another franchise? How many have their right-hand man potentially running another team? How many have that kind of political capital and trust? The answer, almost none. This is rare. This is special. This is why Poles is one of the best in the business. And here's the wildest part. We're in the middle of the playoffs. Less than 24 hours from facing our most hated rivals. The whole city's in playoff mode. Fans are buying jerseys. Soldier Field is getting ready to be a fortress. And Poles is still working to improve this roster for the future. Wow. Other GMs are just focused on winning the next game. Poles is building something sustainable. Something long-term. Something that can keep the Bears competitive not just this year, but for the next 5, 10 years. Those 2 third-round picks aren't just numbers on a draft board. They're real players. Potential starters, elite depth, in the right hands. A third-rounder can become a Pro Bowler. Look at Darius Leonard's second round. Pick 36 in 2018. Look at George Kittle 3rd round, pick 146 in 2017. Look at Travis Kelce 3rd round, pick 63 in 2013. The 3rd round is where you find value. It's where smart teams build depth. It's where elite organizations separate from the mediocre ones. And here's the context that makes this even bigger. We're on Caleb Williams' rookie deal. We've got our franchise QB on a 4-year contract with a 5th-year option. That means we've got a massive salary cap window to build around him. Every pick Poles can add during this window counts double, because we can surround Williams with young, cheap talent while he's still on that rookie deal. That's the formula the Seahawks used with Russell Wilson. That's what the Eagles did with Jalen Hurts. That's what the Niners are doing with Brock Purdy. Poles gets that better than anyone. He knows this window is critical. He knows he can't waste a single year of Williams' rookie deal. That's why he's being so aggressive in stacking draft capital. That's why he's making moves most people don't even notice. And let me tell you something else. The relationship between Poles and Cunningham is special. These that built this roster from the ground up. Cunningham was key in evaluating Williams. He was involved in every free agency decision, every trade, every signing, every move we've made the last 3 years. If Cunningham goes to Atlanta and succeeds, that reflects incredibly well on Poles. It shows he's not just a great GM, but a great mentor. That he can develop talent not just on the field, but in the front office. And those to comp picks. That's the NFL rewarding organizations that build strong cultures, that develop quality execs, that do things the right way. I'm telling you. Right now, Poles is proving why he's one of the best GMs in the league. He doesn't settle. He doesn't relax. He doesn't celebrate small wins. He's always looking for the edge. Always thinking about how to make this team better. Always grinding. After years of watching this team make questionable decisions. After the Pace era where we traded up for QBS that didn't pan out. After watching other NFC North teams build smarter, we finally have someone who gets how to build. In today's NFL. Do you trust Poles to use those picks wisely if we get them? Do you think he can turn those 3rd rounders into game changers? If that first story blew your mind, just wait, because this next one is exactly what we needed to hear before the biggest game of the year. And let me tell you, the timing couldn't be more perfect. Kyler Gordon is back. Spider-Man's back in the building. The cornerback we've been missing for the last 5 weeks, the guy who left a massive hole in our defense, is ready to go against the Packers at the exact moment we need him most. Gordon dropped a video on his official TikTok with the message, "See you Saturday." 3 words, just 3 simple words that flip everything for this defense. After being out since week 13 with a hamstring injury, after weeks of rehab, after all the questions about whether he'd be ready, Gordon just confirmed he's suiting up Saturday night. But let me give you the full context of what this means, because there's way more to this than meets the eye. Gordon's only played in 3 games this season. 3 out 17 regular season games. He's only been available for 3. His body isn't in full football shape. He doesn't have that full season rhythm. He doesn't have 17 weeks of reps under his belt. And hamstring injuries? They're tricky. They can sneak back up on you at any moment. One explosive move, one quick cut, one sudden burst, and bam, it's gone again. That's why Chicago put him on IR as a precaution. They didn't want to rush him. They didn't want to risk his long-term health. They didn't want him coming back too early and ending up out for the rest of the season, or worse, putting his career at risk. But here's what's got me hyped. What tells me Gordon is truly ready. He practiced in full on Thursday. Not limited, not just observing, not doing individual drills. Full participation in Thursday's practice. That's a huge sign. That means his body responded. That hamstring held up. He can make the explosive moves required to play corner. In the NFL, he can cut, he can accelerate, he can backpedal. He can do everything he needs to do to lock down the league's best receivers. And Gordon has 0 injury designation for Saturday's game. He's completely clean on the injury report. That means the medical staff, who've been extremely cautious with him this whole time, are confident he's good to go. Let me ask you this. Did you see what happened in the slot without Gordon? Did you see how the Packers feasted in that area in our earlier matchups this season? Jaden Reed and Christian Watson had a field day. They absolutely owned the middle of the field. Reed had 8 catches for 112 yards in our first meeting. Watson had 6 for 94. They were constantly finding space in the slot, constantly winning 1-1s, constantly converting 3rd downs that kept drives alive. Without Gordon, we didn't have that physical presence in the slot. We didn't have that enforcer who can cover and stop the run. We didn't have someone who makes receivers think twice before crossing the middle. Nick McCloud did his best. He's a solid player, a pro, but he's not Kyler Gordon. He doesn't have that mix of athleticism, instincts, and aggression that makes Gordon special. Now, let's be real for a second. Gordon probably won't play 100% of the snaps on Saturday. It's his first game back. It's the playoffs. It's Green Bay. It's going to be intense out there at Soldier Field. The staff's going to be smart with his reps. I think we'll see Gordon in a rotational role at first. Maybe 60-70% of the defensive snaps. They'll monitor how his body responds. They'll make sure he's not favoring the leg. They'll watch for any signs of discomfort. We'll see Nick McCloud backing him up in the slot. And, yeah, we'll probably see some Tyreek Stevenson too, especially with C.J. Gardner-Johnson still out in concussion protocol. Stevenson's had his ups and downs this year, but he's a talented athlete who can help in specific situations. But here's the thing, even if Gordon only plays 60% of the snaps, that's a massive upgrade over what we had. Just having him on the field changes how Jordan Love has to read the defense. It changes the routes Matt LaFleur can call. It changes the Packers' entire game plan. Think about what Gordon brings beyond just coverage. He's one of the hardest hitting tacklers on our defense. When he sees a receiver cross the middle, he doesn't just cover, he hits. He makes them feel every catch. He makes them think twice about asking for the ball in that area again. Gordon had 52 tackles in just 12 games last year. That's over for tackles per game, and they're not just routine tackles. They're drive stoppers. They're YAC preventers. They're momentum shifters, and his ability to blitz from the slot. Totally underrated. Gordon's got elite timing. When he comes on a blitz, he knows exactly when to go. He knows how to hide behind the linebackers. He knows how to get to the QB clean. Jordan Love's gonna have to know where Gordon is on every snap. He can't just focus on the outside with Jalen Johnson and Tyreek Stevenson. He's got to worry about Gordon coming from the slot. That's a whole extra layer of complexity we haven't had the last 5 weeks. And here's what nitrogen monoxide one is talking about, what I think is just as important as his physical skills. Gordon is an emotional leader on this defense. His energy is contagious. His backflip celebration after a big play lifts the entire unit. Remember that backflip after his pick against the Broncos last year? Remember how the whole team fed off that energy? That's what Gordon brings. He's not just a player. He's a spark. He's a guy who makes everyone around him better. After weeks of grinding without him, after watching the Packers exploit the slot in our earlier matchups, after wondering if he'd be ready for the playoffs, getting him back at the most crucial moment of the year is a massive psychological boost for this defense. I think the Bears' medical staff did an incredible job managing his recovery. They didn't rush him. They didn't cave to pressure. They didn't risk his long-term health for a regular season win or two. They waited until he was truly ready, until that hamstring was fully healed, until he could practice full speed with no limitations, and that moment is now. Gordon himself said that once he understood the recovery timeline, he circled the wild card game as his target. He said he stayed in shape throughout rehab, that he worked with the strength and conditioning staff to keep his cardio up, that he did everything possible to be ready for this exact moment. And here's the question we're all asking. Does he have all his Spidey powers back? Can he make those explosive cuts? Can he stick with Jaden Reed on those quick slot routes? Can he run with Christian Watson on those verticals? We're gonna find out tomorrow. But I'll tell you this, after what we've seen the last few weeks without him, after how the Packers attacked that slot, his return can only be a good thing. He's a game changer. He's the missing piece. He's the kind of player who can make one play that flips the entire game, a clutch pick, a third down pass breakup, a tackle for loss on a screen, the kind of plays that define playoff football. The Bears' defense has been rock solid all year. Top 10 in points allowed, top 5 in yards per play, one of the best pass rushes in the league. But without Gordon, we had a soft spot in the slot. Now that weakness is sealed. Now this defense is whole. Now we've got all the pieces in place for the biggest moment of the year. Do you think Gordon's gonna make a big play tomorrow against the Packers? Do you think he's gonna have that Spider-Man moment we've all been waiting for? And just when you thought we were done, here comes the wildest twist. This is what's got the entire city of Chicago buzzing. This could turn into one of the most unforgettable moments of the entire season. Kyle Brandt, the same Kyle Brandt from Good Morning Football, the guy who created the angry run scepter, The guy who celebrates the most savage runs in the NFL every week just threw down a challenge to our rookie running back that could put free clothes on the backs of Chicagoans. Yeah, you heard that right. Free gear for the whole city, courtesy of Kyle Monangai, if he accepts Brandt's challenge. The challenge is simple, direct, and straight up epic if Kyle Monangai does the angry run scepter gesture during Saturday's game against Green Bay. Brandt will hook up the people of Chicago with free clothing. That's it. That's the deal. Flex the scepter equals clothes on Chicago's back, just like Brandt said. For those who don't know angry runs, let me break it down. It's probably the most beloved segment on Good Morning Football. Every week during the regular season, Kyle Brandt highlights the most brutal, most violent, most savage runs in the NFL. We're not talking about untouched 80-yard touchdowns. We're talking about runs where the back trucks defenders, where he drags 3, 4 guys for extra yards, where he refuses to go down, where he runs with a fury that feels almost supernatural. Brandt breaks down those runs, ranks them, and at the end of the week, he awards the angry run scepter to the most deserving back. It's not an official NFL award, but players take it seriously. They celebrate it on social. They use it as fuel. And guess what? Kyle Monangai has already won that scepter twice this season. A 7th-round rookie, a guy most teams passed on in the draft. A back who had to fight for every snap, every carry, every yard. He won angry runs twice. The first time was Week 9 against Cincinnati. That was the game where Monangai announced his arrival to the league. He exploded for 176 rushing yards, the best performance by a Bears RB in years. He was dominant. He was unstoppable. He was exactly what this team needed. But the run that won him the scepter, the one that made Brandt say, "This is angry runs at its finest," was when Monangai carried Bengals defenders and our own guard Darnell Wright for 15 yards. Let me say that again. He carried enemy defenders and a 330-pound teammate for 15 yards. He didn't go down. He didn't stop. He didn't quit. He kept pushing, kept grinding, kept fighting until 5 guys finally brought him down. That's Chicago mentality, baby. That's what it means to run in navy blue and orange. That's what it means to be a Bear. The second time Monangai won the angry run scepter. Week 16, against guess who? Green Bay, at Lambeau Field, in enemy territory, against our most hated rivals. Monangai absolutely trucked safety Xavier McKinney on a 3rd of 4-yard reception. The longest of his career at that point. McKinney's a Pro Bowler, one of the best safeties in the league, known for his physicality, and Monangai ran him over, made him look like a high schooler. McKinney's probably still feeling that hit, probably still seeing it in his nightmares. Let me ask you, did you see those runs? Did you see the violence, the determination, the pure rage Monangai runs with? This 7th-round rookie, picked to 29 overall, runs like every defender in the league owes him money. He runs like he's got something to prove, like every carry is his last shot, like he's fighting not just for yards, but for his place in this league. And here's the best part. Monangai didn't just win the scepter twice. He was a regular semifinalist all season. Multiple weeks, he was in the conversation. Brandt kept bringing him up. He was this close to winning a 3rd or even 4th time. This dude is a nightmare for defenses. He's the kind of back defensive coordinators hate to face because you can't bring him down with one guy. You need 3 bodies to stop him. And while you're stacking the box to slow him down, you're leaving other areas wide open. But let's get back to Brandt's challenge because this is where it gets really fun. Brandt's offering free clothes to Chicago if Monangai does the scepter gesture during the game, and this isn't new for this city. This is right in line with what Wiener Circle's been doing, hooking up fans with free hot dogs. After Big Bears wins this season. Remember when Caleb Williams threw 4 touchdowns against Dallas in Week 3? The whole city went nuts. Wiener Circle gave out free hot dogs. People lined up for blocks to get one and celebrate. Remember when Ben Johnson ripped his shirt off in the locker room after beating the defending Super Bowl champs in Arrowhead in Week 13? Boom, free hot dogs again. Another citywide celebration. Now we've got a shot at a 3rd giveaway, but this time, it's not hot dogs. It's clothes, gear on the backs of Chicagoans, courtesy of a rookie who runs like he's possessed. And let me say something about what this means. Kyle Monangai is a 7th-round rookie. Most 7th-rounders don't even make the final roster. Most never play a regular season snap. Most are out of the league in 2 years, but Monangai isn't most guys. He's rushed for over 600 yards this season, scored 5 touchdowns, been a key piece of our ground game, giving Caleb Williams the balance he needs to succeed, and now he's in a position to give something back to the fans, to give something back to the city that's embraced him, to give something back to the people who stuck with this team through thick and thin. That's what makes this team special. That's what makes this season special. It's not just about winning games, it's about the connection between the team and the city. It's about players who understand what it means to wear navy blue and orange. It's about giving back to the community. So I'm telling you right now, if you see Monangai skip the usual first down celebration tomorrow, don't be confused. If you see him do something different, if you see him raise an invisible scepter, you'll know exactly what's going down. That means he heard Brant's challenge. That means he's about to hook up this city. That means he's playing not just to win, but to give something back to the fans. And here's what's got me the most hyped about all this. Monangai already has a history of punishing Green Bay. He's already run through them once this year at Lambeau. He's already shown them what Chicago football looks like. He's already proven he's not scared. You think he's gonna hold back in the playoffs? You think he's gonna be less physical, less violent, less angry in the biggest game of the year? You're out of your mind if you think that. I believe Monangai's coming in tomorrow with a double mission. First, help the Bears win and move on in the playoffs. Second, put some clothes on the backs of the people who've been riding with this team from day one. This season has been straight up magical for Chicago. After years of mediocrity, after years of heartbreak, after watching other NFC North teams shine, we finally have a squad that makes us proud. The most promising team in 7 years, huge wins against elite teams, unforgettable moments we'll talk about for decades, and now, the chance to add another legendary chapter to this story. A 7th-round rookie, someone the league overlooked. Someone who had to scrap for every opportunity, is about to become a city hero. Not just for what he does on the field, but for what he represents off it. Monangai embodies everything it means to be a Bear. Hard work, grit, physicality, no fear. Playing with a chip on his shoulder, never backing down, always fighting for every yard. And tomorrow night at Soldier Field, under the lights, with the whole city watching, with the Packers trying to stop him, Monangai's got a chance to create a moment Chicago will never forget. Do you think Monangai's gonna accept the challenge and hook up the city with free gear? Do you think he's gonna have one of those angry runs that makes Brant lose his mind? 3 stories that don't just define this Saturday, they define the entire future of this franchise. A general manager playing 4-dimensional chess, stacking draft picks while other teams don't even realize the game has started. A shutdown corner returning just in time to seal the only soft spot in our defense. And a rookie running back charging with so much fury, he might just put free clothes on the backs of an entire city. Let me ask you something, and I want real answers in the comments. Do you trust Ryan Poles to use those compensatory picks to build something special? Do you believe he can find the right guys in the 3rd round who can contribute right away? Because I'm telling you, Poles has proven he knows how to evaluate talent. He's shown he can find value where others don't even look, and with 2 extra 3rd-rounders, the possibilities are endless. Do you think Kyler Gordon is gonna make a big play that flips the momentum of the game? Do you think he's gonna have that Spider-Man moment, maybe even a backflip after a clutch interception? Because after 5 weeks out, after all that rehab, after waiting patiently for this exact moment, I believe Gordon is ready to explode. And what about Monangai? Do you think he's gonna take Kyle Brandt's challenge and run like a man possessed? Do you think he's gonna truck a Green Bay defender and hit that invisible scepter celebration? Because if anyone's gonna do it, it's this rookie who's been running angry all season long. I'm telling you right now, this team, this organization, this city is building something we haven't seen in years. From the front office with Poles making genius-level moves, to the field with guys like Gordon and Monangai giving it everything they've got, from the vets to the rookies. Everyone is locked in on one goal, bringing a championship to Chicago. But we need you with us on this ride. We need you in this family, in this community that bleeds navy blue and orange. If you're not subscribed to this channel yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on the bell so you don't miss a single update. Because I promise you, after tomorrow, we're gonna have even more explosive news. And don't forget to check out the full playlist pinned in the first comment. That's where you'll find all the pregame breakdowns, all the predictions, everything you need to enjoy this ride all the way to the end. Drop a comment and tell me what's got you most hyped. Is it Poles stacking picks for the future? Is it Gordon coming back like Spidey just in time? Or is it Monangai about to bless the city with free gear? I want to hear what you think. Let's get that debate going in the comments. And remember, this is more than football. This is Chicago. This is who we are. We work hard. We hit hard. We don't quit. We fight to the end. And this team, it reflects all of that. Bear down, family. I'll see you after the game with the full breakdown of what's going to be a historic night at Soldier Field, a night where we show Green Bay, the NFC, and the entire NFL that the Chicago Bears are BACK.